What is up guys, Anthony here. Google has made their Pixel line known for two things, stock Android and an incredible camera. Both of these things excel because of the software standing behind them, but there's way more to these phones than meets the eye. We're going to be taking a peek into every aspect of the Google Pixel 3a, and we're going to be deciding if this budget flagship is worth it. At first glance, you can easily tell what phone this is. The two-tone design has become a staple for the Pixel line and makes the phone instantly identifiable. While all the previous Pixel phones in Google's lineup have been made of glass and metal, the Pixel 3a reimagines the design by using plastic instead. When holding the phone for the first time, it's very hard to notice the body is made of a cheaper material. Instead, you still get that premium feel all around, and since the plastic in the back is still frosted, it feels like one of the latest flagships Google has to offer. The back of the phone is very clean with that single camera sensor, more on the camera in another video, a simple flash unit, and of course the fingerprint scanner. Flipping it over to the side, we can see that Google is still using those quirky colored power buttons, which are very unique, and they also place the volume up and down buttons on the same side. Not many phones do this, but it's not a bad placement at all. The opposing side simply shows a SIM card slot with no expandable storage. On the bottom, we have the now standard USB-C port along with a mic and down-firing speaker. The display on the regular Pixel 3a measures in at 5.6 inches diagonally and boasts a 1080p OLED display. So with all the design elements out of the way, let's get into some specs. So the specs on this phone are okay, but a spec sheet never tells the full story, and many phones out there prove that. The Pixel 3a has a bigger battery than its more powerful predecessor, the Google Pixel 3. Both support fast wireless charging at 18 watts with that hefty USB-C adapter. However, that's where the similarities end. The Pixel 3a has a 3000 mAh battery, while the Pixel 3 has a 2915 mAh battery. The 3a, while made of plastic, does not support wireless charging. All that being said, since this model has a mid-range processor paired with a slightly lower resolution display, the battery should last pretty long. I wanted to go ahead and test some of the battery capabilities out for myself, so I conducted a few charging tests and an all-day battery test, so here are my results for those. The first test is the charging test. Google claims that this phone is capable of fast charging, so let's see how fast. Keep in mind that in the fine print, Google states that charging rates are based on use of included charger. Actual results may vary. This means that not any cable will be capable of enabling the fast charging feature. Throughout the charging test, I found that yes, the phone is charging fast. You can tell because of the charging indicator, which rates charging rapidly, but it isn't as fast as other phones. Some flagships claim to get 50% in 15 minutes or 50% in 30 minutes, which is the standard. The Google Pixel 3a only got to 41% in about 30 minutes, so the reason for that could be because I left the screen on throughout the test, but I can't know for sure. In my all-day battery usage test, in which I used the phone from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. with about 50% screen brightness and with only browsing on Wi-Fi, the phone did exceptionally well. I ended the night with 44% battery still remaining, which is awesome. I watched Hulu, used Bluetooth earphones for a few hours, and the phone obviously did a great job at using the battery efficiently. For the battery alone, I could recommend this to anyone. It has one of the best batteries I've tested so far. So, the battery is good. How's the performance? The processor took a hit as Google tried to lower the cost of this model. The outcome is that the 3a is using the Qualcomm 670 Snapdragon processor, which is not all that impressive. In day-to-day use though, the phone holds up pretty well. The phone rarely stutters, and the only time I really saw it struggling was during the boot up. It took about 2 minutes. The phone comes with 4 gigs of RAM, which again is nothing impressive, but personally the 4 gigs of RAM didn't bother me. I think the RAM management has greatly improved in the last few years, and while technically more than 4 would be better, I don't really feel like I need it. Before we sum up the phone as a whole, let's go over some pros and cons. So pros. Although by the tech community standards it is considered a budget phone, I think that it still has a premium feel. The two tones make it feel fresh and different, and I'm loving the small details the design team has done in terms of the look. From the textured power button to the rounded frosted back, I definitely think this phone is attractive. Of course, we can't ignore the reintroduction of the headphone jack. It's such a nice convenience, and I'm really happy that we have the option to use it or not. The best thing about this phone is that a lot of the excitement comes from software features. This means that pretty much everything you get in the regular Pixel makes its way onto the budget version. We get things like Active Edge, Night Sight, Now Playing integrated into the ambient display, and a lot of other things. So on to the cons. The display is okay. The thing that bothers me is not the resolution, but the fact that it's not as bright as I'd like it to be. Aside from that, the bezels could be smaller, and while the look of them doesn't bother me at all, the fact that the chin is so large and being completely unused seems like a huge missed opportunity. This model is missing a new second camera on the front that's found on the Pixel 3 and 3 XL, and the second lens is used for wide angle so you can take group selfies and all that stuff. The last thing that is somewhat of a con is the lower end processor. Again, while it's very usable and fits my needs perfectly, it's hard to tell how well this phone is going to hold up. Applications are going to do more and more, and lots of them are feature packed. Apps and updates are only going to continue this trend, and it's possible that the phone might feel slow within a year to a year and a half. So, The Pixel 3a is feature-packed and doesn't have too many things going against it. You get the Google experience at a really affordable price, and best of all, you get that phenomenal Pixel camera in a lightweight, stylish, and arguably powerful package. The 3a is a great buy for a lot of people, and the biggest downside is that mid-range processor. In some ways, this phone is even better than the Pixel 3. You get a bigger battery, slightly bigger display, lower price tag, and of course that headphone jack. I could recommend this phone to anybody who's not a pro and relies heavily on their phone for work, and in my opinion, that's the majority of people. So that's going to be it for this video. If you want to see how the camera on the Pixel 3a performs, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that video. It's going to be coming very soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.